Oh, I'm fucking stoked. You know when you try to stretch and then you end up yawning and saying something else as you're doing so? Yeah, that's what happens, man. Anyway, let's get this going.
皆さんこんにちは。空の桜
yes.
Hello everyone, this is Masahiro Sakurai
Everyone's
from
father.
Sora Limited. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game was recently honored with 5 awards at this year's Japan Game Awards.
Japan Game Awards, 5 awards?
It's received a great many awards on top of that as well. Each
They
award
recently
is
just got
very
named
meaningful to me, so I would like to take the
best-selling fighting
opportunity
game,
to extend my thanks
outselling
to
Street
all
Fighter
those
2.
who have voted and to
Well, I
all
mean,
those
that's
who have
impressive.
supported us. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Without
You and
further
your
ado,
team made an
let's begin
awesome
the
game.
presentation. First, we'll start with what the Neo Geo is. It refers to a 1990 video game console for use in arcades and at home, as well as to the name of the system itself.
I actually do
In
remember
1990,
this.
the equivalent to the Super NES had only just released in Japan, so if you wanted to play arcade games at home before then, the only option was to play the less polished ports on the Nintendo Entertainment System. However, with the Neo Geo system, you could play the arcade versions of games at home with no drop in quality. 1990 was right around
That's
the year that I
interesting.
started working
You
for
could
a
play
games
arcade
company.
games at home.
Back then,
No
Japan
loss of
had
quality
rental
with the
services
Neo
for
Geo
arcade
system.
games. In
Which
other
is something
words,
you
you could
couldn't
go
do
to a
with
rental
the
store, rent an arcade
NES.
game, take it home, and play it. After that, they were sold for home use, but a single game would cost about 30,000 yen. That's expensive.
That's
But if you think about it, compared to playing a game in the
$30,
arcade
right?
300 times at 100 yen per
I'm not
play,
good at my
you're getting your
conversions.
money's worth. At the time, some people actually thought this was cheap. I mean, there really are people who've played games in the Super Smash Bros. Series 1,000 or even 10,000 times. Anyway,
Yeah.
the
I
MVS,
used
as
to
it was
be one of
called
those
then,
guys.
was
I'm-
sold in
I'm
various
retired
places,
now.
and for an arcade machine, it wasn't all that expensive.
I'm a retired vet.
You could also get them on lease. That's why you'd end up seeing lots of candy stores having a Metal Slug cabinet. The home version of the Neo Geo came with this controller. Can you see? It has 4 buttons. And this is the actual console itself. Here is the reset button, and here you slot in the big game cartridges.
Those are some huge
This
game
is the Neo Geo.
cartridges.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Actually, this is the Neo Geo X, the portable version that was released afterward. You could also
it
insert
kind
it
of
into
looks
this
like
docking
a
station and play it
bigger
as a
version
home
of the
console.
Game Boy Micro.
Beat Nintendo Switch to it. A portable, multi-purpose console. Updated iterations of past systems are
It kind
emblematic
of has a
of the
similar
Neo Geo.
design to the 3DS pad.
Next, let's talk about what Fatal Fury is. It released in 1991, the same year as Street Fighter II, but this one came later. It launched after Street Fighter II. Like many of the other fighters, Fatal Fury was often regarded as a title that was developed to capitalize on the popularity of Street
As an
Fighter II,
imitation
but
of
that's
Street
not
Fighter
really the
2.
case. Actually, both Street Fighter II and Fatal Fury were developed using the original Street Fighter as a foundation. In fact, the development of Fatal Fury was started by one of the planners of Street Fighter.
I don't know why, I was always drawn to Fatal Fury more than
Did I
Street
just hear you say,
Fighter.
wow? This one is also a multiplayer-focused fighting game. In this story, someone named Jeff Bogard is killed by Geese Howard.
It was like Fatal
Geese
Fury
Howard
is
starts
like
up a fighting
the
tournament in
Street Fighter
Southtown,
with more
which he runs.
personality.
To avenge his father's death, Terry enters the tournament, which is known as King of Fighters. I mentioned the term King of Fighters, something you may have heard before. Yes, there's actually a popular series called The King of Fighters, and that series was named after the fighting tournament within the world of Fatal Fury. And Terry Bogard, who is the protagonist of Fatal Fury, also appears in all the games in the King of Fighters series as one of the main characters. If you want to play a game from either of the Fatal Fury series or the King of Fighters series, many of them are available now on Nintendo Switch as part of the Arcade Archive series. You may not know which one to play first, but my recommendation for the Fatal Fury series would be Fatal Fury Special. From the King of Fighters series, my recommendation would be the King of Fighters 95. But if you want to play a fighting game with all sorts of strategic elements, then I recommend the King of Fighters 98. Next, I'll give you some insight on Terry Bogard.
98 is nice.
Actually, this video was recorded about 1 month prior to its release. That's because we need to translate and edit videos like this one, and that takes time. The game footage you see here is not from the final production ROM, so please understand that there may be some elements that differ from the final game. Since we have the opportunity, I want to talk about Terry using a lot of SNK lingo, meaning in this discussion, the younger generations may feel a little out of the loop.
That's what y'all get.
But there's nothing to worry about. When we released the original Nintendo 64 version of Super Smash Bros., I was often asked, who is Samus? Whether or not the character is fun to play as is more important than whether the character is new or old, or whether the character is recognizable to everyone. I want to make sure I present Terry to you in such a way that you can fully understand his appeal. So thank you. Okay, let's begin. This is Terry Bogard in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. He's still wearing an outfit that reflects the era of his original game, but we did our best to make him look cool in a variety of ways. When he stands next to Ryu, it almost makes you wonder, is this really a Super Smash Bros. Game? Doesn't it?
This fucking
Just like
SNK
you, when you're
versus
playing
Capcom,
one-on-one,
yo.
you'll face the opponent. Actually, he always looks in the opponent's direction.
Oh my
Even if you move into
God.
the location behind the opponent, he'll quickly turn around, always
We
keeping
got
his focus
SNK
on
versus
the opponent.
Capcom in Smash Brothers.
Let's talk about his moves.
That's insane.
His neutral attacks are jab, body blow, and high kick. Each move is something familiar from the Fatal Fury series. And his dash is power charge. This is a move you can use in Real Bout, Fatal Fury Special, and others. In the original series, it was one of his special moves. His tilt attacks
that's
are
a
middle
pretty
kick,
good. That seems like a pretty good
rising
attack.
upper, and under kick.
Can he chain all
Compared
of
to Ryu,
those?
his attack speed is slower. This is to match his original series. Now for smash attacks. First up, backspin kick. This smash attack is the equivalent to his strong attack, but the motion is even cooler than in his original series.
I see.
Next, wild upper and slide kick.
Yeah, wow,
Both
upper,
are from the
his
original
up smash
series.
just look like it hits behind.
Then his midair moves. Jump, then chop. Jump, then kick. Jump,
And he's
then
got,
backward kick.
he might have an up smash at the shield, maybe.
And then somersault kick. However, this somersault kick was not included in the original series,
I thought his neutral
but
air
we
was
needed a
gonna
move
be
to attack up,
his
so we
forward air.
created a new move. Also, jump and then karate punch for a down air attack. If you successfully
Spike's
pull off
just
a down
like,
air, it's possible to attack with a meteor effect, as you can see here. It's basically like Ryu's. Next, I'll cover his throws. His forward throw is his familiar buster throw. His back throw is also buster throw. And his down throw is neck breaker drop. In fact, he used it in the game Fatal Fury Wild Ambition. I miss playing that game on Hyper Neo Geo 64. And then his up throw
You can
is
actually
grasping
combo
upper.
with
This sort of dodge attack can be performed after a spot dodge. I mentioned dodge attack, and this actually does exist.
What?
During a spot dodge, immediately press the button to counterattack. During a dodge attack, your upper body becomes invincible, so this kind of move gives you the advantage when you counterattack.
What about the lower body?
Now for his special attacks. His
Wait.
neutral special with just the B button is Power Wave.
So it might be a legit anti-air?
Depending on how long you press the button, you'll use one of two
It
types of
might be
special
because
attacks,
he still has to.
weak and strong.
No, he still has to face
This
the
one is
other,
weak and kind of
the other
slow,
way.
and this one is strong.
So that means maybe
Fast,
he might
isn't
have
it?
an up smash of the
For
shield.
Ryu, in his original game, you used 3 buttons, so there were weak, medium, and strong attacks. For Terry Bogard, you could use 4 buttons in his original game, but there were only 2 buttons for punch. So that's why he only has 2 attack levels, weak and strong. This rule applies to all of his special attacks, so please keep that in mind. By the way, the attack Power Wave is a move that shoots energy along the ground. But how does it look in the air? In his original game, you couldn't use this move in the air. This is how it looks now. As of the King of Fighters 96, the Power Wave ability had a shorter range, so we've recreated that version of the move. It's a useful move in midair and helps keep opponents in check. Next, we have a special performed while holding in the direction of your opponent, Burning Knuckle.
That's not really a good
This move also has a weak and strong version,
That's okay,
as well
though.
as a command input. Like the Hadouken command input from Street Fighter II, you perform this command using the directional inputs, down to the side in the direction of your opponent, and then press the button.
Down to the side.
Doing so makes the move a bit stronger. This means that Burning Knuckle has 4 variations:
4 types of burning.
weak without command input, and strong without command input. Weak with command input, and strong with command input. The strong version using the command input is of course the most powerful. You'll hear a noise when you input
KOF,
the
Street
command.
Fighter, he plays all the games. You know, he knows how to do a fireball.
And if you've succeeded, you might also notice some green mixed in with the flames. It may be slight, but there is a difference.
That's how you can tell you got the strong input.
The strong version with the command input really is strong, even capable of KOing opponents. It can be blocked, however, so be on the lookout for that. In such a case, you'll be left wide open.
Is there a way you... It doesn't
And
look
this
like
is a
he's not
first
be
for the
able
Super
to
Smash
combo
Bros. Series,
into it
but the
because
side specials are split
there's
into
some
2
startup.
versions, a back special
So
and a front special.
seems to be quite a bit of
That
startup,
means
so you
there's
can't
one
really
more side
confirm
special
into
than
it
usual.
from a
Fraction.
jab.
This is a
I
familiar
think that
move
was the
from his
same way
original
in
game.
the
There's also
original
a command
Fatal Fury
input
in
version.
KOF.
It's performed by using the directional buttons down to the back,
I think with KOF
followed
you
by the
was
A or
able
B
to
button.
in the later iterations.
The command version can launch your opponent quite a bit further.
It doesn't look like it could kill though.
It creates a bit of an arc, so it can be used as an anti-air attack when your opponents try to hit you. At close range, if you happen to be blocked by a shield, it's hard to be counterattacked because you'll pass through them.
Okay, so
There's
it
something I
crosses
want you to
up through
remember.
the shield, or it goes through the shield.
When you do a crack shoot off screen, this is how it will look. Terry swings with his whole body when using Burning Knuckle and crack shoot, so it can be hard to recover. However, if you keep pressing backwards without inputting commands, you should be able to initiate crack shoot in the direction you're trying to recover.
Okay.
Let me show you one more time. Do this, then continue to press backward.
Okay,
and
there's
then
some
you can
useful
recover.
tech right there.
If you press too quickly or input some commands, you'll fly right off the stage, so be careful. And this is his up special, Rising Tackle.
Rising Tackle!
It also has weak and strong versions, each with differing heights. And did you notice that if you hold down briefly to charge, your whole body glows a little? In this case, your
Indicates
whole body will be
visibility, too.
invincible at the start. Either way, your legs will be invincible. Here's an example of
That's
this
cool.
invincibility in action. With the standard Rising Tackle, I got completely wiped out when I threw myself at them.
I got completely wiped out.
But with Rising Tackle's charged command version, you can't be hit at this moment, so you come out on top. You can of course use Rising Tackle as a recovery as well.
Oh, that doesn't look like a very good recovery.
Even after using Burning Knuckle or Crack Shoot, you can still use Rising Tackle. This is also very helpful when you're trying to recover, so please keep that in mind. His down
You have to
special
go a
is
bit
Power
below the
Down,
stage. So it's the same way like
an attack
Ryu
that
can.
rises and descends.
You gotta go a bit below it, stay so you can snatch to the ledge.
This side,
snap to
down,
the-
diagonally down command input is also known as the Shoryuken command.
Sure you can.
If you can pull it off, you'll be invincible at the start of the move.
Oh, so it has invincibility too.
Also, you can hear a sound when it connects, but it might be tough to make out.
Is there a wall over there?
Now, let's talk about canceling specials. I'd really like you to keep this in mind.
This is a real one.
If you use a special after attacking with a standard attack, the special won't come out until the move animation has finished.
So you can buffer
That makes
specials?
sense, right? But here's what happens if you cancel out of it. At this moment here, if you've successfully entered a
Wait,
special
that's the
command
side tilt,
input,
I think.
the rest of the animation will be cancelled, allowing you to attack again immediately. I'll do that again. Throw out a kick like normal. And once your leg extends, you'll perform the move.
It doesn't cancel the end leg of the animation. Or the recovery
Set
of
it up so that when you attack, you can go straight
Only
into
on
the
hit
special.
though.
This will increase your offensive options. Please try this out.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna
example.
try that out.
Neutral attack, 1, 2, and power down.
Woo!
This is a bread and butter combo.
Look at that!
Aside from that, you can
What?
also
He
get
can-
Terry to fly out and attack in an M shape.
So his aerials can freaking.
In his original
his
game,
aerials
you
can
could only
connect.
cancel attacks
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
and,
ground. But in Super Smash
his
Bros.
air
Ultimate,
normals
it's
can
possible
freaking.
to cancel aerial
That's
moves.
sick. He can cancel his air normals to
The types of aerial
specials.
attacks that you can cancel are limited to things like
Only certain
neutral air
attacks can be
attacks
canceled.
or down air attacks. But I think it would
Neutral
be
air can be
wise to
canceled?
use these combos to expand your offensive options.
This is
And
sick.
at last, the final smash.
Oh, what's his final
His
smash?
final smash begins
Power
with
geyser?
triple geyser. Terry will shoot 3 geysers straight forward.
Power geyser.
However, if you think that's all, you're very mistaken.
Excuse me? Oh!
As you can see, if triple geyser connects, you'll follow
Power
up with
dunk
power
and
dunk
Buster
Buster
Wolf.
It's 3 moves in 1. It's a visually striking combo.
Visually striking is
You may
the
be wondering
right
what
word.
happened to his original super special moves. Yes, they're here too.
Super special moves.
With the
But he doesn't
usual
have any
rules,
meter.
When Terry's damage meter rises up to 100% or higher,
What?
in stamina mode, when his overall HP drops to 30% or less, you'll see this go icon at the bottom of the screen. At this point, if you enter this specific command,
Power
initiate
geyser.
the power geyser you see here. The command input is, if I borrow the way it's said in the original game, down, angle down, side, angle down, forward. Well, it's a bit complicated. Downward, then backward, then forward. You see?
Yep.
It is an action game after all, so you get to control the direction of your punch, be it right or left. In that case, no matter which direction you're going for, just swap the right input and left input. It's like this: downward, then backward, then forward. Or down, and then the opposite direction, if that's forward. And then there's his other super special move.
I'm kind of just trying to process everything here. He has fucking Buster
Buster
Wolf as a super special.
You can initiate this one by repeating the Hadouken command input twice. Down to side, then down to side again.
That one's definitely. I can see people definitely going.
It can
to
be rather
prefer
difficult to
that
pull off
than
moves
a
using
power
the
geyser.
original game's command inputs, but you can also use simplified command inputs. In the case of Power Geyser, remember this: down, side, down, forward. As long as you input the command downward to the side, to the back, downward again, and then forward, you should be fine.
So yeah, the input.
In the
shortcuts.
case of Buster Wolf, it's simply down, side, down,
Bro,
side.
those are interesting inputs. Dude, bro,
That
that's
should be easier to remember.
that's freaking one of their fatalities.
Even though the command input is complex, it can still be blocked
Finish
with
him.
ease.
Your moves can be
Since
blocked
these
with the
moves can
shield.
only be used when Terry has taken a lot of damage, you'll be in even more danger if your opponent blocks. So they're high risk and high return.
I risk
Please
higher
save
one
them
move,
for when
of
you
course.
really need to make a last-ditch effort. You can use it again and again, but be careful. Your opponent may be able to predict your move and take action. Essentially,
get
it's
that
best
every
to
single
use it
time
when
you
it's
hit
least
100,
expected, or to
or go
cancel out of
over
a combo, like this.
Canceling is a good way to use it. Indeed it is.
For the taunts, I decided to match his original game.
Does he throw his
up
hat?
taunt is "Hey, come on," from the King of Fighters series. His down taunt spins his hat like in the Real Bout series. And his side taunt is "Stand Up" from Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
Stand up!
I've demonstrated him using various special moves in the game so
I was
far,
gonna
and
say,
you can
hey,
hear
are
his
you
voice.
okay?
Like that. We've incorporated both his longer remarks, like Power Wave, from older titles, and his shorter remarks, like Rock You, from newer titles. And here are his color variations. There's a good variety
Oh,
of
look at the
colors
blue
available
one.
from across the series,
Bro, do you see
and the
that
cat design
the
is
all black
slightly
one?
different in each version.
You got the Neo Geo hat?
They're based on his original games, and we've also included some from the King of Fighters 14 and
What does
the
that
anime
say?
series.
What does the gold hat say? Buster Wolf? That is sick.
He
Okay,
sometimes
throws the hat
takes
in
off his
victory
cap too.
animation.
For example, it happens during his victory pose. His cap also blows away when he is defeated in stamina mode.
Oh, this level of detail, man.
The
I
stage is
love it.
called King of Fighters Stadium.
Haha, look at Rio, Joe, and Yuri.
It looks like one hardcore fighting coliseum. The text above the Jumbotron reads, King of Fighters, without the. When we
King
talk
of
about the game
Fighters.
title, we need the up front, but the name of the tournament in the game's story is just King of Fighters. This is a very unique stage, and it follows some rules that haven't existed in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate before. First, the edge is walled off. In the Super Smash Bros. Series, you need to launch opponents off the stage.
Okay.
Here, however, the more damage a fighter has accumulated, the more the wall will visually react. to
Stop
your launch
playing,
defense.
yo.
Can you see? Eventually,
Visually
fighters will break
breaks.
right through the wall.
That is
There are
clean.
fireworks in the background. Basically, this special
It reminds-
feature
it
allows you
reminds
to
me
KO an
of
opponent only
Guilty
after
Gear.
they've accumulated
The new
enough
one that's
damage.
coming out.
That way, you can enjoy the battle more like you would in a traditional fighting game. When you're close to the wall, it's possible to be KO'd even when your damage is low. It's just like in regular stages. In the Real Bout Fatal Fury series, there was a feature in which the walls could be destroyed and players could suffer a ring out when they hit the wall. This isn't exactly the same, but we made it kind of similar to that. We hope you'll enjoy playing at
Okay.
this stage with all its special rules.
Buster
By the way,
Wolf.
there are guest characters in the background, right? Since we have the opportunity, I'd like to introduce them to you.
Cameos.
First up, Andy Bogard. He's the adoptive brother of Terry Bogard. Both of them were adopted from an orphanage and raised by Jeff Bogard. However, while Terry's teacher was Jeff Bogard, Andy studied under Mai Shiranui's father. He uses the Koppoken fighting style. Joe Higasha. He's one of the three main characters from earlier games in the Fatal Fury series. He's the only one that doesn't have any connection to Geese Howard. He's a Muay Thai champion. Kung Fu Ru. He's the master of the Holy Fist of 8 Ways, and he also trained Jeff Bogard. He can enlarge his body as well. Billy Kane. He's been in many
Oh, you
Fatal
got
Fury
Billy
games
in
since
here?
the first one, and he's the right-hand man of Geese Howard. While he appears in the first game, his costume is based on his appearances in King of Fighters 97 onwards. You can't really see his back, but the no smoking symbol is definitely there. Geese Howard. He's the big boss of Southtown. And he's the rival of Terry Bogard. Falling off of buildings is his thing. Rock Howard.
Yo, we got
His
Rock!
first appearance was Garo, Mark of the Wolves. He's the son of Geese Howard, and Terry actually raised him.
Oh.
That means his
man.
appearance in this game at this age with
I would've
that
been sick if they
doesn't
made you a
really jive
playable
with the
character.
timeline. But Smash is kind of like that to begin with, right? Kim Kapwan. He uses Taekwondo and considers himself a fighter for justice. His Ho'okyaku is very famous. Ryuji Yamazaki. His first appearance was in Fatal Fury 3, and he's a
We got a
criminal
lot of
known as Dark
cameos.
Broker. He's very selfish and sadistic. Blue Mary. Her first
Ah,
appearance was in
this
Fatal
bae.
Fury 3 too. She uses combat sambo, and she's a good drinking buddy of Terry's. Those were the characters from the Fatal Fury series, but from here on, let me introduce characters from other series. Athena Asamiya. She's a Psycho Soldier. Psycho Soldier is a memorable game released around 1986, and it was the first title to feature a fully voiced theme song within the game. This epic song was also remixed for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it was recorded in both
I'll have to
Japanese
check
and
that out.
English. Music start. Kyo Kusanagi. He's the
Kyo!
protagonist of the King of Fighters series, and he uses the ancient martial arts Kusanagi-ryu. Speaking of
Bodega.
protagonists, there are differences depending on which version you're talking about, like Orochi and Nest. Anyway, he is forever a school kid. Iori Yagami. Originally, he was
Iori.
introduced as Kyo Kusanagi's rival, but when I first saw this character in the game at the time, due to his look and attitude, I thought, whoever created this character must be a genius.
Yes, they are.
Goro Daimon. He's a judo gold medalist belonging to the Japanese team, and he likes to throw his opponents.
He likes to throw his opponents.
Chan Hohen and
No!
One
Why y'all
is
got this
comic,
dude
and the
dancing
other
like
is a
that?
slasher.
Oh my
They are
god.
currently undergoing rehabilitation under the previously mentioned Kim Kapwan. Ralph Jones and Clark Still.
We got Ralph
Originally,
and
they
Clark
were
in
main
this game?
characters in the Ikari Warriors
Where's Leona?
series before Neo Geo. They appeared
Does she
as
make a
guests
cameo?
in the Metal Slug series too. Ryo Sakazaki,
Nah.
the protagonist of Art of Fighting. The original Art of Fighting was released just before Fatal Fury 2. That means it was the first game to implement a true super special move. How could I not include him?
That's sick.
King. Her first appearance was in Art of Fighting, and she's a bouncer
I
and
like.
body.
I remember King.
She is a beautiful woman with an androgynous sense of style.
I actually remember her.
Next, Yuri Sakazaki. She was kidnapped in the first Art of Fighting game, but after that, she trained hard and mastered Kyokugen Karate in just 1 year. In other words, she's a genius. So, as you can see, we've included many characters, a total of 20 characters. You know, it's very cumbersome. I mean, it takes a lot of time. But so many people
I
love
could
each
tell.
and every one of these characters, even outside the confines of their individual series, so we simply had to do our best by them. By the way, you may have noticed that a very important character from the Fatal Fury series was not included. Yes, Mai Shiranui.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is for good boys and girls of many different ages.
Wow. She's too
Also,
sexy to join
my music
Smash.
features a variety of tracks, and the music that plays affects which special guests will appear.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is for good boys and girls.
For example, there's a
Damn,
track
yo.
called Pasta, and when the music is playing, Andy Bogard will always appear. I hope you look forward to that as well.
Is that? Oh, no, that's not it. We got
Okay,
a lot more
I'm
left.
done providing information, so now let's jump into some actual battles. This time, I'm going to play the Terry route of Classic Mode. On top of that, I want to try and hit the highest intensity level. Let's see if I can get all the way up to intensity 9.9. Honestly, playing the game in extreme difficulty while doing commentary is extremely hard. One or the other is doable, but doing both at once forces me to divide my attention. But it means I should do my best at both. I'll do my best. First,
Okay, so I
this
wanna
route is
see
named the King of
after.
Smash. 3 characters who have some sort of connection will appear as a set, a challenge that looks somehow familiar. Okay, the first intensity level is 5.0, so I should be fine. All battles in Terry's route are stamina battles. This stage's special KO rule that I talked about
so it's
earlier
like
isn't the best match for stamina rules, but oh well. On his route, a lot of stages feel like they're from a traditional fighting game.
It looks like he
Okay, I did it anyway.
He's kind of have like floaty jumps, a little, just a slight, a little bit of a float.
Even in this mode, it's not impossible for me to try for a KO, but normally it'll be over before that. There. Done.
Yeah, that's sick. I just like how it
Looks like he's
just
saying,
breaks
"Give me
the
something."
wall.
Next, round 2. It's the Legend of Zelda team. Just because characters are in a team because of their similarities, that doesn't mean that they have to be from the same game.
That's true. Okay, well let's check out.
This is Let's Go to Seoul.
What he says after it. Okay, so this is a song collection.
Next, let's talk about the music. This time we have something very special lined up for you.
Probably put in a buttload of songs in this here.
For instance, when we were deciding which songs to include in this set, we thought about concentrating on songs related to Terry, but there were a lot of big band style songs that didn't really fit the mood of battle. That aside, the music of SNK has always been great, right from the beginning. So this time, we selected tracks
I know they
that we
added
call
some KOF
SNK
songs,
style.
but
Basically,
I
we
wanna
expanded
know
the selection a
which
bit
ones
to include series
specifically they
outside
have,
of just Fatal Fury
and from
and the
which
King of
games.
Fighters.
they added from all
SNK
the games
songs
or
have
just
always been
specific
great,
ones?
really. This was true before Neo Geo, and all the way from the old The King of Fighters games to the arrangements in the latest
Yes, they have
installment, The
many
King of
excellent
Fighters
tracks.
14. We did a lot of digging around, and finally managed to narrow our many candidates down to 50 songs.
選んでしまったんですね。それで、
We never intended to do something like this, of course. So we submitted our 50 proposals to SNK, expecting them to pick out maybe 10 or 20 that they considered acceptable. But they told us they were okay.
Okay!
As a result, we've pretty much added in 50 songs.
50?
Have a look at the list. That's how we ended up with the list we have, but
Okay,
we
what,
worked hard to
14?
deliver some of the best remixes. This was a
99,
very special
96,
one-off
2000.
case, and I don't
2002
think we'll be able to
UM?
do the same for other series. To be honest, I
Undercover
think
and
that being
Cutting
able to
Edge?
hear such a
Wait, is that
selection
adding
might
more?
make the Fighter's Pass worth quite a bit
They got some
more than
Samurai
its price.
Showdown, Art of Fighting, Metal Slug songs.
思うぐらいですね。ぜひ
I do hope you'll enjoy it.
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy
Challenger
it,
Pack
right?
4 has the Spirit Board too. The Spirit Board can be selected via the Spirits menu.
Oh, that is clean.
Have a look at the background. If it looks familiar to you, you'll start feeling pretty nostalgic. Shinkiro-san's artwork is always so
Even the
nice and
background,
vibrant,
man.
isn't it?
That's Terry's stage.
You
from
can also
Fatal
look
Fury.
forward to mock tournaments featuring each of the characters. That old school Athena and Ralph and Clark artwork really is something.
Wow, man.
Now for the Mii Fighters. Please have a look.
Me fighters. Okay. Oh, Nakaruru? Art of Fighting. Nice. You might kind of notice that that move is specific kind of. Oh, word? Virtual Fighter. Okay, Akira. He was in a. No, he wasn't. Era B Fighter costume. He was in Assist Trophy. That's cool. And they had a Jackie too? Yeah! I think that's it for now. I already had it updated and whatnot, so I'm definitely going to check them out after this video. I think I want to get all of
SNK
them,
was
to be
also
honest.
involved with the Mii Fighter set this time, so it has a strong fighting game influence.
Now he talks
It borrows a
about
lot from the series Nakoruru comes from, like her wind slash attack,
There's some
so I
room
hope you'll
stuff.
enjoy those little details. Moving on to
I'm
Amiibo,
skipping ahead,
here's the
but-
new lineup. Simon, Chrom, and Incineroar. Each of these will be released on Friday, November 15th.
I kind of want the Simon amiibo. I want the Simon amiibo.
Next, let's discuss the details of the updates. We've made some improvements to battle arenas.
Okay.
First, we're making it so you can send messages to each other in a battle arena. The messages are preset. So there's that, and also the player who created the arena can now change the rules. We've also added the option to play either Battlefield form or Omega form at random in the stage settings.
Okay.
Aside from that, you can now pick Elite only as an arena type. Furthermore, Quick Play won't be the only way to play with people you don't know. As long as the arena type is set to public and no password is set, we've made it so anyone is now free to join. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Terry is due for distribution on November 6th. If you have the Fighter's Pass, you'll be able to get him straight away, or you can purchase him separately. Well, I think that wraps it up for our Terry Bogard showcase. I hope we were able to convey his appeal. By the way, his reveal trailer was aired in advance. It was created using SNK pixel art. The complete version of it, including the gameplay portion, is finally ready. I'd like to show it to you after this.
Let's check it out.
Now, this is something of an inside story, but I of course wrote the plot for SNK's pixel art packed reveal trailer. When the invitation comes out, you might recall how it says, "Don't be late, S." That is not what I wrote. It makes me think, ugh, this is why I hate inside jokes. After leaving it to the staff, it snuck its way in there.
Wow.
I just want you to know that the S is also the Super Smash Bros. Series S. Well then, let's move on to the intro movie.
Oh man. I would have loved to see any of these characters be playable, to be honest. You're already in another fighting game. Get it! He just laughs. Oh, I love it, man. Go on ahead and pick it up, Mr. Buster Wolf.
Hey, come on!
Faces the fury.
Lightning Tattoo! Her own way! Look you! How about that? Are you okay? Bristol Foe! Hey, come on! Counter!
That black costume is sick. What? Wait, did you see the little gloves on Kirby? Oh, get out of here. You jumping at me. We breaking walls now. Sick. Okay. That's clean. That is clean, man. I love it. But and I'm definitely gonna just I already have them downloaded. They already got the update. So I'm definitely going to check them out after I finish editing this video. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.